Okay, so we're both playing Luris. We have a 1-land hand, but we have Mishra's Bauble. So I'm considering doing the land scry trick to try and find a second land. Okay, let's take a peek at what's on top. Monastery Swiftspear, not a land, so we're going to go ahead and fetch Shock and use the Inquisition. We'll go get a Blood Crypt, which casts most of the cards in our hand. Namely, it doesn't cast Tarmogoyf. Okay, so we're playing against basically the same deck here. They're going to be able to tear apart our hand regardless. So we could take the Tarmogoyf or the Kroxa. The Tarmogoyf is going to be the threat that sticks around. The Kroxa is going to be the problem for a later turn. Hopefully we'll find another answer for it. But as is, they're going to be able to tear apart our hand, so we cannot rely on Fatal Push being an answer for their Tarmogoyf. Okay, we expect to see Inquisition here. No, it's a Swiftspear instead. So we'll be able to take that off the board with our Lightning Bolt. And hopefully draw a land off the top here. No, just a Seal of Fire. Okay, they don't really have removal, per se, but because we can't put the Tarmogoyf out this turn, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to Seal of Fire and get that Swiftspear out of here. Now, because we're not drawing lands, it means that we do have gas in hand, but we need to be able to deploy these cards in order for them to have any real effect. Opponent's going to be able to put Kroxa down now. Probably lose the Inquisition for that. No, they're surprising me all over here. Figured for sure it would be discard spell turn 1. We got a Swiftspear instead. Now we're getting a discard spell instead of Kroxa. I guess this makes sense. They're going to want to pull some of the most powerful cards out of our hand so that they can get their threats down unmolested. Okay, so we know about the secondary Verdant Catacombs and the Kroxa left in hand. Do they take the Tarmogoyf with this one? Probably. Bye-bye Tarmogoyf. Okay, don't have too many choices here on what we can do. We'll throw down a Swiftspear and attack. If they Kroxa this turn, we're going to discard the Fatal Push. No, we can't do that. We need to keep the Fatal Push for when this comes back onto the board. I think we have to get rid of this Seal of Fire then, because Kroxa is quite close to coming back. So we will need to have an answer for it, and Fatal Push does answer Kroxa at least once. Okay, there's the last card that we knew about. Finally. Wrong land, but it is a land. So we can Lightning Bolt them, they'll take 5, and then we can hold up the Fatal Push. So Death Shadow is going to be a problem here. I think if they had the Shadow, they would have cracked the Verdant Catacombs and played it. But it looks like... oh, they've already gone to damage. In any event, we'll just hold up Fatal Push in case they bring the Kroxa back. Okay, here's another Kroxa. So if we Fatal Push it, then they're going to be able to deal us 3 like that. So we might as well just discard the Fatal Push. Or we could... Oh, it's too late to make that decision now. One thing I was thinking, we could Fatal Push the Kroxa, even though it's bound to die. That would deal us 3 damage, putting us to 13, and it would be that much better for us to put a Scourge down. And now they have a Shadow. So we need to draw just the best cards here, turn after turn. And Tarmogoyf is uncastable, so we're just going to sit here on our heels and do nothing. Let's see if they find the 4th land they need. Not just yet. Okay, so this Death Shadow is not lethal. We could chump, but I think I'm fine with just taking 7. Go to 9. That'll make our creatures better. And a secondary Death Shadow, that's a problem. And we get a Lightning Bolt. Okay, so we're toast. Okay, so what are we going to do for the mirror match? Veil of Summer seems good. Assassin's Trophy kills other things. Colligan's Command could be good if it's a grindy game. Thinking that the Inquisitions probably aren't all that hot. The Temur Battle Rage is going to be incredibly dangerous. So easy for the opponent to punish us through Fatal Push. We'll take out the 2 Inquisitions and bring in the Colligan's Command. Being able to ask them to discard a card while we pick one up seems fine. There is some value in bringing in Spellbomb. They are playing a Lurrus deck, and we are no longer running Scavenging Ooze on our side. I'm wondering about the value of Wrenn and Six. It's not going to kill any of their creatures. Maybe we'll just bring in 2 Spellbombs instead of Wrenn and Six. We can cycle those with our own Lurrus if we get the chance. Okay. There are still some cards that are a little bit subpar. Seal of Fire, Lightning Bolt, I think are necessary evils. I don't think we really need to go in for Cleansing Wildfire, but it would have some value. The opponent probably has the same basic count as us, so we would be able to take them off green mana with Cleansing Wildfire. Kozilek's Return isn't going to do anything. Alright, I'm going to run with this 60 here. So we've taken out Inquisition and Wrenn and Six and Temur Battle Rage. We brought in Spellbomb, Veil of Summer, Assassin's Trophy, and Colligan's Command. Okay, so we have a 2-land hand here. We'll keep this one. We can also do a Mishra's Bauble trick while holding up Veil of Summer. So we'll set a stop for the opponent's upkeep. Play Bloodstained Mire, Mishra's Bauble, and then we'll check the top of our library during... We don't need to do it during their upkeep, we can do it at any point. Doing it during their upkeep would be a good way to see what they're about to draw. So we're going to get Overgrown Tomb with this Bloodstained Mire. And they are targeting us. We could potentially fetch that card away so they don't know that we're drawing it. Okay, hoping for a Inquisition or a Thoughtseize here from the opponent. And we got him. Let's go get Overgrown Tomb, Veil of Summer. Okay, so they're going to be drawing a Bloodstained Mire on their turn. Or rather, right now. And we get a Scourge of the Skyclaves. Okay, so we're not going to want to cast Scourge this turn. It dies to Lightning Bolt currently. So we're going to just go ahead and, I think, play basic Mountain Tarmogoyf. That'll be a target for their Fatal Push. And if they don't have an answer to Tarmogoyf, then we might just run away with this game. Be able to put large Scourges down because of our fetch land. Oh, there we go. Scourges are now too big. Okay, and we have instant, so we can dismember their Tarmogoyf, as well as playing a large Scourge. Tarmogoyf is now a 5/6. Put the opponent to 10 and cast a 10/10 Scourge. Okay, we're just going to skip the rest of this turn. We have no play. All our mana is tapped, and that is a very nice looking swamp. Okay, they're playing Scourge of their own. So their Scourge trades with Fatal Push, and they lose. Let's move on to game 3. Okay, I think we're gonna keep this mostly the same. Really not sure about that Spellbomb. Could be good in a long-term game, but I'm wondering more and more about that Cleansing Wildfire potentially taking them off of green. Yeah, no kidding. That was, well, I mean, that's the constant problem with Thoughtseize, isn't it? You can't Thoughtseize the top of the opponent's deck. Thanks for stopping by, Dank Shrooms. Okay, we have too many lands here. But we have all of our colors, we have redraws. I'd be a little bit happier if one of these were a draw land. But I think it's just barely good enough to keep. Might get punished for it, but I really don't want a mulligan here. Okay, here's a Swiftspear. We're going to be playing one of those too. Our turn is going to be very similar to our opponent's turn. Okay, so they targeted me with the Mishra's Bauble during their turn. Something that a friend of mine explained to me a little while ago. When you're playing against another Thoughtseize deck, you should generally... Ooh, a Seal of Fire. You should generally activate your Mishra's Bauble during the opponent's upkeep. That still lets you see what they've drawn, but doesn't expose whatever you've drawn to their Thoughtseize. So we'll set a stop on the opponent's upkeep so that we can do just that. Thank you, Dark Shrooms. It seems like you concur. Okay, we'll pass to their upkeep and we'll go ahead and use the Bauble. See what they're about to draw. They're drawing Fatal Push. Good to know. Fatal Push will be an excellent answer to any of our threats. Now, there was some value in using the Seal of Fire last turn to kill the Monastery Swiftspear, because Seal of Fire only does 2 damage. If the opponent keeps any mana up, it's not guaranteed that the seal will do the job. Okay, so they're just passing the turn. Interesting. Okay, we draw a Death Shadow as well as another land. Not too happy to see the land, but it is a fetch, so there is that. I'm thinking probably play Seal of Fire Spellbomb and attack with the Giant Swiftspear. Okay, we're going to put our life total low so that we can play the Death Shadow next turn. But it is something that we're going to have to be very careful of. It's very easy to lose too many life and then your opponent is able to just swing in for something huge. Okay, so they haven't made any move yet as far as the Fatal Push goes. Would have expected them, actually, to have cast the Fatal Push with the Seal of Fire on the stack. But they might be looking to trap us if they have like a lightning bolt or something. Yeah, I think that would have been the obvious play. But if they had a secondary spell, they might have been trying to trap us. It seems like they do not. So we're just going to pass it to their turn. Okay. So they fetched off with one of their lands. I still think it's probably a mistake to seal the Swiftspear here. Might be just too aggressive. Because they could Fatal Push our Swiftspear, guaranteed, and save it. It would have been an interesting trade, though, trading 2 of our mediocre cards for one of their better cards. Especially when we have a Death Shadow that we would like to play. So there would have been some merit to that. Okay, and they went ahead and put the Stomping Ground into play untapped, which means they almost certainly have a Death Shadow of their own. Okay, here's a Thoughtseize, so we lose our Death Shadow. We might be looking at putting Lurrus into our hand next turn. And there is the Death Shadow. So they no longer have black mana for Fatal Push. So it is questionable about if they have anything they would be able to save the Monastery Swiftspear with. They could absolutely have Lightning Bolt, which would also kill our Swiftspear. Oh, we get Thoughtseize. So we'd be able to find out exactly what they have and be able to answer accordingly. That would take us off putting Lurrus into our hand this turn. And I kind of think that we need to do that so that we can get the Death Shadow back. So we go to 9, playing the Blood Crypt. And they have 6, 7... We're under quite a bit of pressure here. All those lands that I had in my starting hand are definitely showing that they were mediocre. And not drawing any real removal off the top has been a little bit awkward. I think we'll have one more turn here. But opponent still has Fatal Push in hand. Okay, so here's that Fatal Push. We'll go ahead and answer with Seal of Fire. If they have another spell, we're pretty toast anyway. Oh, Apostle's Blessing. Okay, yeah, we're dead. Cool to see Apostle's Blessing. Another one-land hand, eh? Well, this one here doesn't even have a Bauble, so we're definitely going to mull. We get another one-land hand. This one does have a Bauble, but I can't do the Bauble trick, and this land does not cast my Swiftspears, so we're going to mull again. Okay, this is much better. It's going to be difficult to figure out exactly what to put back. We have to put 2 cards back. So Mountain, definitely. I want to keep the Wrenn and Six for sure. So I'm thinking that the card I get rid of will either be Thoughtseize or Swiftspear. Because I'm not running, or rather, because I don't have a Scourge in hand, I'm playing Tarmogoyf as my secondary threat, I want to Thoughtseize first. So we're going to get rid of Swiftspear and Mountain. Okay, once again, we're playing against a very similar list. So we don't actually have an answer to anything that they're presenting here. So the Tarmogoyf is going to be one of the easier things for us to deal with in the long term. Wrenn and Six is going to be a lot more difficult for us to deal with. And the Lurrus, we have like Lightning Bolt and stuff for that, but they will be able to get some value out of it. I'm thinking about taking the Wrenn and Six here and just having dueling Tarmogoyfs staring each other down. Nice top deck opponent. Be interesting to see what they take. Hey, handsome. Welcome back. I heard that you were first. Yeah, that's the first emote that I made. And I think I already showed you the second one. Okay, so they do take the Wrenn and Six there. That makes sense. I was going to use that as an advantage engine. So let's just go ahead and put Tarmogoyf onto the board. Fortunately, Tarmogoyf is too big for a lightning bolt. Okay, so that was Verdant Catacombs. You can get rid of that. And there's their Tarmogoyf. And we get a Scourge. Okay, so because we drew the Scourge here, I'm fine with attacking into their Tarmogoyf. They probably will not block because they'll know I have a trick. So they'll just take the damage, which will make my Scourge even larger. Again, we know they don't, or rather, of the cards that we know about, there's no answer to either of these creatures, and the Scourge is going to attack into Tarmogoyf quite nicely. Oh, a Liliana. Good answer. So Liliana kills Tarmogoyf. Seal of Fire kills Liliana, and Scourge attacks through Tarmogoyf. Okay, Mishra's Bauble. So we can play the Bauble, play the Seal of Fire, and then attack them. Unfortunately, we can't just kill them outright, but we can keep the Seal of Fire up to hit Liliana with if they choose not to use her or whatever. If they want to tick up and discard one of their own cards, that's fine. We'll let them do that. So we'll leave the Seal of Fire on board. Too bad you don't have your lightning bolt ready to go. You tapped your mana. Okay, so on their upkeep, we'll find out what they're about to draw. Maelstrom Pulse, so that will answer the Scourge. We were close. Okay, so there's the Pulse we knew about, taking care of the Scourge. Alright, are they going to tick up Liliana is a question. It appears like a no. Makes sense, so we'll just leave the Seal of Fire on board. Draw 2 cards. Hey, okay. Well, let's go ahead and play Scourge of the Skyclaves. And we have a choice here between allowing the Liliana to tick up to take our Death Shadow off the board, or give them the Shadow first. We're at 13 life there, handsome. If we played Shadow, we would look mighty silly. We could Seal of Fire ourselves first, but I want to keep the Seal of Fire for their Luris. So what I'm thinking is, if they want to make us discard our Death Shadow, that's fine. We'll keep the Seal of Fire specifically for their Luris. Hello, Pandaconda. Okay. So we'll discard our Shadow. They'll probably discard Lightning Bolt, but they might have drawn something that's worse than that by now. Oh no, they have the Fatal Push. Okay, so we're going to have to make our decision on our Seal of Fire pretty soon. Liliana is going to tick up past the point where Seal can deal with it. So we're going to get rid of the Liliana. And then we're going to put Lurrus into our hand. It's quite a kick to kill a Scourge. What could they be thinking about here? Ki. Okay, there we go. Play the Stomping Grounds and get our kitty cat. Now we're each looking at bringing back kitty cat. Very possible. Very possible. But I don't think we had any better play. Oh, is this another Liliana coming down? No, it's their Lurrus. Okay, I don't think their Lurrus actually gets anything, though, this turn. Whereas ours will get a Mishra's Bauble right away. Oh, I would have loved that Thoughtseize last turn. Take their Lurrus away. Next turn we can get back Seal of Fire, kill their Lurrus. And we'll use the Mishra's Bauble during their upkeep. So we're going to be getting real grindy from here. They're going to be casting, I don't know what, Tarmogoyf maybe? And yeah, I'm thinking probably the same thing. We'll probably Seal the Fire, kill their Lurrus, depending entirely on what we draw and what they put out. So they're going to be drawing Tarmogoyf this turn. So they can put out a pair of Tarmogoyfs. Very scary. We would probably have to respond to that with Scourge, because a pair of Tarmogoyfs would make quick work of us. 7/8 Tarmogoyf. Oh, and they're attacking us too. So we could trade here, but yeah, they've already got this other Tarmogoyf on board, so no trade. Look out for Lucille. Okay, so we draw lands. Okay, so let's see here. Scourge is a 6/6. What's Death Shadow? 5/5? We can make it bigger with the Bloodstained Mire. I think we probably have to draw a card with the Peatland and look for Fatal Push. We find another land off the top. Okay. So we could play the Scourge, and then we can block the Tarmogoyf and the Lurrus. All the fingers on that paw are still up. Deck didn't give us nothing. So I think actually Tarmogoyf, Scourge and Lifelink, yeah. So I think we probably play the Tarmogoyf. Tarmogoyf is bigger than Scourge right now anyway. But I think we're going to lose this game. There's not really much we can do about it, unfortunate. I think I figured it out, though. It's because they have the better Tarmogoyfs. So we could block one of their Tarmogoyfs. They bounce. We block their Luris. We take 7, gain 3. So we go to 4. And then if we draw Fatal Push off the top, we could still be playing. Okay, so they're just attacking with the Tarmogoyfs, leaving the Luris back. So we're going to bump and go to 1. This does die to Lightning Bolt, but I'm dead anyways. Ooh, I like that one. Good thinking. Fetch down, then play Shadow. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Should have done that. Okay, so now we're at their mercy. Oh, I was just thinking that right after they have Wrenn and Six in the graveyard, we had to block. Yeah, it was pretty slim there at the end. Okay, so we're going to be bringing in Veil of Summer, Colligan's Command, and Assassin's Trophy. We're going to take out Temur Battle Rage. It's too risky. They have access to Fatal Push, so they would easily be able to 2-for-1 us. Boyle's a great card. I got to cast it last week. It was great. Spellbomb is okay. It does hit their Luris. And where they were playing Luris right in the main deck, they're going to be playing more than one, and that's going to be a fairly large part of their plan. So I wouldn't mind bringing a few of those in. Cut 5 lands. Perfect. Then we won't be drawing extra lands. No flooding that way. Okay, we'll take the play. We get a 2-land hand full of threats we'll keep. Probably play Swiftspear into Swiftspear Spellbomb so that the Tarmogoyf doesn't die to Bolt. Yeah, I would say this is a pretty good hand. Let's take the stop off the opponent's upkeep there. Don't need it there right now. And we draw Fatal Push, one of the best cards in the match. Okay, so yeah, I think we're just going to do the way we wrote it up last turn. Okay, it looks like they have a response here. They're going to Fatal Push one of our Swiftspears. That's great. That's a Fatal Push out of their hand. Don't have to worry about that for the Tarmogoyf. Tarmogoyf is out of bolt range. That's fantastic. Okay, looks like they're going to be playing a Death Shadow or a Scourge. Nope, Wrenn and Six. Okay. So we're mostly going to ignore Wrenn and Six. It is going to be getting them value every turn. Oh, a Wrenn and Six of our own. Don't mind if I do. The big problem here is that if we Wrenn and Six, put the fetch land down, and cast Death Shadow, their Wrenn and Six will kill our Death Shadow. But we can just get the land, put it down, and then hold up Fatal Push of our own. Meanwhile, it looks like we're holding up Spellbomb. Okay, we're going to attack them. Like I said, we're mostly going to ignore Wrenn and Six. We want to kill the opponent dead. Interesting choice there. Revealing one of their cards in hand to us. They played Verdant Catacombs and then returned Verdant Catacombs with the Wrenn and Six. Oh, here's a Liliana. So they'll probably use that to get rid of the Swiftspear here. If they end up making us discard a card, we might just go ahead and use the Spellbomb to draw something, because our hand is fantastic. Target player sacrifices a creature, don't mind that at all. We can use the Wrenn and Six to take Liliana off the board, I believe. To any target, fantastic. Just deciding if I want to fetch here. We can fetch during our turn, we want to lose the life anyways. Did we see Shadow game 1? Yes, we did. We had a Shadow in the graveyard. Oh, from the opponent. Okay, good point. Did we see Death Shadow? I thought we did. Yeah, now that you're speaking of it, I definitely remember them playing the fast land, and you wouldn't play a fast land if you were playing Death Shadow. Okay, so we can strike Death Shadow off of the threats that we need to worry about from the opponent. Hey, all right. First tribute. Thanks for the follow. How did you find the stream? All right, all right. Well, you're going to be happy this week. We're going to be playing this deck today, Wednesday, and maybe even Friday, too. Okay, they're finding an Inquisition here, which is unfortunate. They're going to be able to take our Fatal Push. We have no targets. Nice. Oh, all right. Well, I'll take a look in for that. Either one, Scales or Heliod. Would like to watch that. Okay, so we're getting pretty close to wanting to crack the Spellbomb for value. The problem is the opponent has Planeswalker and Sorcery, so we would be putting the Tarmogoyf down by 1 power and toughness. Swiggy Swaggy, thanks for the follow. What's up, my man? How did you find us? Death Shadow, great draw off the top. Okay, so we're just going to attack here with everything towards the opponent. Opponent must block, and then we'll play another Death Shadow pass. Oh, we can actually put Lurrus into our hand as well. So we're going to do all the things. Opponent is close to Wrenn and Six ultimating, so we might just minus ping the Wrenn and Six just to make sure. Or we could grab a fetch land here. I don't think we need to worry about the Wrenn and Six just yet. Just minus ping face. That makes sense too. Okay, so we could put Lurrus in hand. We don't need to hold up mana for the Spellbomb. We can still use it, even if we don't draw a card with it. It's one of the things that I like about Spellbomb over the Relic of Progenitus. Only modern streamer at the moment. Shadowplay is always interesting. It's definitely one of the more interesting decks. We have to do quite a bit of math, and there's a lot of room for some blowout plays on both sides. I've seen some very ingenious plays with Temur Battle Rage and some unfortunate ones with Dismember, for example. Yeah, we do. Takes a bit of time, but we're starting to build a community here. Thank you, Handsome. Handsome using my first ever emote. Put that together on the weekend over a short while just to do a little bit of testing, see how the emotes work. I think it looks pretty sharp. Don't think that we necessarily want to change anything here. Not saying that because we won that game that this is perfect, but I think it's good enough that we can keep it. Spellbomb didn't really do any work there. It was basically a dead card. But if they had played Lurrus at any time, it would have seemed pretty good. Oh, you're getting there. I've got a surplus of chests sitting in the bank right now, just in case people decide they want to start saving up to see what's inside. Okay, this hand seems fine. It's not great, but we have first turn Thoughtseize, Lightning Bolt if they have a Swiftspear, and then Call Against Command to gain value. I think we can keep this. And the opponent is generally going to be doing themselves damage, so the Scourge might be able to land. without even having to use the lightning bolt. Okay, our opponent is mulliganing, so that's lucky for us, but they're only going down to 6. So we'll use this Thoughtseize here, and being on the draw to try and outvalue the opponent. Okay, we got another Scourge off the top. Fantastic. So I think we'll just play Verdant Catacombs, since we're looking to fetch Shock. Bloodstained Mire is the one land that can go get either basic. Imagine that, we're actually playing basic Mountain. Who does that? And we'll go get a Blood Crypt. See if we can get rid of a Wrenn and Six or Tarmogoyf here. We get our choice, either one. So, the Wrenn and Six has no fetch lands to get value. The Tarmogoyf I have no answer to currently. They have Fatal Push, which answers our Scourge. I'm thinking about taking the Tarmogoyf just because the Wrenn and Six isn't really doing anything until they get a fetch land. Oh, that's a very good point, First Tribute. You're right. I could have taken their removal spell there and looked to play Scourge and just made it bigger than their Tarmogoyf. And they even drew the fetch land here, so... Suspect choice. Suspect. Yep. So unfortunately, that means that my play line means that they have the perfect answer set up for our Scourge. So we could play Scourge into their push, so we can get the second Scourge out, and then we can call against command the first one back. What are you thinking, handsome? Because there's not too much else we can do here. They'll bolt and down tick. Yeah, you're right. Yep, won't even have to use their Fatal Push. So we probably just play Fetch Land Pass. Hold up Lightning Bolt. When you're right, you're right. And you're always right. Good quotes. So when you do that, does it send back a random quote or... it's pretty good. It's good stuff. Okay, there's a Nihil Spellbomb from the opponent's side. How is it not coming up this time? Strange. Doi. Oh, good times. Good times in chat. Oh, there's probably a delay, would be my guess, in how many times you get to quote in a minute or whatever. Swiftspear is interesting. We could Swiftspear Lightning Bolt and put their Wrenn and Six in jeopardy, and that might cause them to go for the fatal push. Well, they could just use the Lightning Bolt in that case anyways. But Lightning Bolt is no longer going to be enough to kill the Scourge. So we can play the Swiftspear, attack them, and then we have the Lightning Bolt in backup to make sure the Wrenn and Six doesn't ultimate. Yeah, that is one thing I'm considering. I'm also considering how much I would like to start getting Scourges onto the board. So we're going to attack them. Yeah, they have no red up, so they can't Lightning Bolt here. Yeah, I was kind of wiffle-waffling on that, and at this point I think I would rather have taken the Wrenn and Six off the board. I think they would have been more likely to fatal push in that instance. Whereas now they'll be like, yeah, I'll just take the 5 and play a giant Scourge or something. Okay, so they're going for the Spellbomb here. On the upside, holding up black mana will make the opponent think that we have Thoughtseize, or sorry, Fatal Push. Well, they have Inquisition, so they won't think that anymore. This does mean that we have access to Colligan's Command, so that we can return Scourge if they take that. Although they might just take the Colligan's Command because of how much value is inherent in the card. Okay, they do take up the Colligan's Command. So next turn, probably just going to play 2 Scourge. Okay, here's Tarmogoyf. And that Wrenn and Six is dangerously close to ultimating now, because I use that Lightning Bolt at face. Yeah, we're going to play 2 7/7s. They'll get to Fatal Push one of them, and then we'll get to keep one around for at least a turn until the Wrenn and Six goes nuclear, and then they'll just have basically infinite Fatal Pushes. Okay, so here's the first Fatal Push. We knew about that one. Do they have the second? Yeah, that looks like a draw. Okay, they don't have it yet. But Wrenn and Six is in the danger zone. So we're going to need to attack them with Scourge, and we'll attack Wrenn and Six with a Swiftspear, depending on what they have, what we draw, etc., etc. I don't like that black mana floating there. Ugh, the Fatal Push. Ugh, okay. Now we're in the danger zone. There's very little we can do here, especially now that our Swiftspear is gone. So opponent just had it all. That's gross. And we draw a land off the top. Alright, we'll play the Peatland, draw a card, see what comes up. Another land. Alright, we're done. Okay, oh, we're playing against Obosh. It's going to be an interesting matchup. We're playing against Prowess. We have one land, but we have two Mishra's Baubles. So I'm fine with keeping this. We also have plenty of removal, which is going to be good versus the Prowess deck. The only thing we're missing here is another land and a threat. Okay, so we'll start with Mire Bauble, and we'll see if there's a land on top. If there is, we will cast no spells. Scourge of the Skyclaves, not good enough. Okay, so we'll fetch here. Go get Blood Crypt. And then we're going to Mishra's Bauble them, so that we see what they're about to draw, and that'll give us better information on how we want to use the Inquisition. Okay, so they're getting Blister Coil Weird, which is a 1/1 with a form of Prowess. Okay, so they have Monastery Swiftspear, Soulscar Mage, Seasoned Pyromancer, Pair of Lands. They are ready to go. Let's see here. We could take their Seasoned Pyromancer, which is going to be a form of card advantage, and then we can use our removal spells to kill the rest of their creatures. One of the other things that we might like to take would be Light Up the Stage, because they'll also be getting value from that. But we might actually be able to keep them from casting that next turn, depending on how they tap their mana. So I think we're going to take the Pyromancer here, because we can kill Swiftspear and Soulscar Mage with our removal spells quite easily. Whereas Seasoned Pyromancer comes in with extra bodies. Okay, we found that land we were looking for. Is going to be a Soulscar Mage. Yes, indeed. And we get Seal of Fire. Very cool. So we'll Seal of Fire the Soulscar Mage and then hold up removal for their next critter. Okay, I believe that they're going to look to attack with this. Okay, no, they're playing both creatures this turn. Okay, that's fine too. We will kill the Swiftspear here, and then we'll kill the Blister Coil Weird and put our own Swiftspear in play. Strike that, reverse it. We're going to get Stomping Ground here. Oh no, Handsome, that's bad news. You make sure you take care of that. Okay, Death Shadow will be able to play that right now if we dismember the Blister Coil Weird. So Dismember puts us to 10, which means that Death Shadow is in Lightning Bolt range. They don't currently have a Lightning Bolt, but that we know of, but they could easily draw one. So we're going to start with a Swiftspear Fatal Push, and we'll use the Dismember next turn. I just really don't want to lose my Death Shadow to a Lightning Bolt here. Okay, here's Lava Dart, and then they're going to light up the stage. I think that I prefer that to Seasoned Pyromancer. Although that's pretty gas. Okay, we get a Scourge off the top. The opponent's life total is at 18. Scourge isn't doing too hot. We don't have any target for Dismember either. What are we going to do here? I think that we either put the Scourge into play as a 2-2, or we do nothing. If we just do nothing, they're going to do a lot of stuff. I'm going to risk casting the Scourge. It is quite a massive risk, but it's the only thing we have available to us on this turn. I do like keeping the Dismember for the Obosh, but the opponent might not get that far. If they get up to 5 mana, it's more likely that they would use the ability on the Seasoned Pyromancer first. Okay, fingers crossed we don't get punished here. Okay, they did have a removal spell, and that would have killed most of the creatures that we would have been able to put down. Okay, and they're casting a Light Up the Stage full price. They have a Lightning Bolt and a Pyromancer upcoming, both of which they can cast. Oh, Wrenn and Six isn't too bad. We'll go get Bloodstained Mire, play it. If we play the Death Shadow here, it dies to Lightning Bolt, so we pass. And they get another land off the top. So that draws them 2 cards with the Pyromancer. They have access to Lightning Bolt. Just all kinds of goodies on the opponent's side here. Looks like they're going to kill our Wrenn and Six. We're okay with that. Yep, double Lightning Bolt at Wrenn and Six. Get those Lightning Bolts out of here. That was a solid 2-for-1 for us. And a Peatland, okay. So we'll go get another Blood Crypt untapped, play the Death Shadow. And now if they have a Lightning Bolt, we can use the Peatland to make Death Shadow a 4-4. And if they have a Flame Slash, we can use the Dismember to kill the Pyromancer. Either way, our creature survives. The problem here is going to be the Pyromancer in the opponent's graveyard, of all things. Bringing in another 2 tokens is going to be a pain in the neck. But they decide instead to put Obosh in their hand. And they're going to play a critter. Okay, no attacks, makes sense. And we find a Thoughtseize, so we can get rid of the troublesome Obosh, as well as grow our Death Shadow. Now, attacking would be tricky. They can easily block, and then we're kind of like in for it. Even if they don't block, they'll only take 5, and then they can start pressuring me with these creatures along with the Pyromancer. So what I'm thinking, I don't want to take the Dismember down, but I wouldn't mind getting this Lurrus in hand. And if we can get a little bit of advantage going with Lurrus, I think we'll be fine. We already have a Seal of Fire in the graveyard, so that's going to be able to kill their creatures turn after turn. And if we can start attacking with Lurrus, we don't have to worry as much about our life total either. So still a very precarious position here, but it looks like we might be able to turn the corner, depending on if our Lurrus can stick around for a couple turns. Seal of Fire their Swiftspear, get it off the board. Start taking care of the tokens from their Pyromancer. If they remember it, they might forget. Is it instant speed or sorcery speed? Okay, it's instant speed for that, so they can do it end of our turn. Yeah, that's too many mountains from Obosh. And we get a Mishra's Bauble off the top, so we can see what they're about to draw. They're they're gonna draw mountain, chat. Oh my. Going down to 6 here. Don't have to fear, they're drawing mountain. And we have 1 land here. So I'm thinking I would like to bring back the Seal of Fire. Okay, so let's see here. We attack with Death Shadow. They don't block. They make 2 tokens, and then they have 5 damage coming in. We can block anything with a Lurrus and we're fine. So we attack here. They also have Lava Dart in the yard. I forgot about that. So with the Lava Dart, we would take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 exactly. We still have the block with Lurrus available, and we have the Seal of Fire. The problem is, if we block something with Lurrus, they can use the Lava Dart to kill Lurrus. I think we're still safe as long as we take it careful. Although we could potentially go down to 1. Maybe we sit back on our heels for 1 more turn. Let the Lurrus get some advantage here. Because, yeah, we wouldn't want them to... take the game when we've been working so hard for it. Oh, I didn't see the Firebolt, chat. Yeah, that makes things way different. So Firebolt kills Lurrus. We don't have access to our Seal of Fire anymore. Recursively, I mean. We also have lost access to life gain. And then they still have the Lava Dart. So we're going to take 5 damage here. I guess we still have the Seal of Fire. But yeah, if they come in, I'm just going to block with Death Shadow. So they just hang back. We get Temur Battle Rage. Okay. So are they dead? They have nothing in hand. They cannot create any more elementals. We can put ourselves down to 1 with the Peatland and the Dismember. And they have Lava Dart, so we would have to make sure we only go down to 2. Okay, so we go down to 2. That makes the Death Shadow an 11/11. And what if they block with everything? Well, then they wouldn't have anything left. I think that this might be lethal. Let's go for it. They might just put like a single elemental in front of it or something. Or they could put everything in front of it. Just Seasoned Pyromancer is also a good block. They'll be able to remove it, exile it from the graveyard, and make 2 more elemental tokens. But they have to wonder right now, do I have Temur Battle Rage? Can they survive it if I do? They also see the Seal of Fire, so I could Seal of Fire myself, put myself to 4, which would be 9, so a single block there would be fine. I pretty much have to have Dismember in hand for this attack to work. And even then, I just Dismember their Swiftspear. Good to go. If opponent draws Lava Dart, it's rip. I think that we just win here anyway, right? So we don't even bother worrying about what they're going to draw? Not too often I get to do this. Temur Battle Rage win. Whew. Got that one with the skin of our teeth. Okay, so how do we play against Obosh? Definitely not the Boil. Kozilek's return seems okay. Yeah, that Dismember really changed the math. Also, though, the opponent was just flooded out. So they gave us a ton of time to get there. Don't expect that when you're playing against Obosh. Generally, they're looking to win a lot faster than that. Okay, we're actually going to be keeping the Dismember because it's one of the cards we have that cleanly answers Obosh. I was thinking the same thing. Any kind of removal, we definitely want to give it consideration. The opponent is mostly going to be doing their damage through creatures. So we got to kill their critters. Otherwise, I'm not too interested in the rest of the cards in the sideboard. Spellbomb has a very small amount of value. Cleansing Wildfire does basically nothing. Boil the same, nothing. Veil of Summer does nothing. So yeah, we're good with what we got. Okay, we have a 2-land hand. We have threats. We have removal. We have Mishra's Bauble. This hand is good. We will keep. And our opponent has mulliganed. So we're going to start with the Mishra's Bauble trick. Give ourselves a pseudo scry. And then depending on what the opponent does here, we might just be looking at Lightning Bolt. We could Lightning Bolt during the opponent's draw step, and that would allow us to successfully do the trick and kill the Swiftspear. Okay, we get a Bolt off the top. Verdant Catacombs, Mishra's Bauble. Put a stop on their upkeep. Bauble ourselves. Kozilek's Return. I know I put it in the deck, but that's just because I thought it was better than Thoughtseize. I don't think it's better than a random card, so we're going to fetch it away and just Lightning Bolt the Swiftspear right now. Okay, we'll take these stops off and pass the turn. Draw our third land. That's about the right number of lands, 3 or 4, no more. Okay, another Swiftspear coming in. This one could light up the stage. Looks like they're taking a moment here during the block step to see if they wanted to cast a lightning bolt. They decided against it, so I'm imagining this is a light up the stage here. Yes, indeed. Okay, Lava Dart is in the grip there, so that's going to be very strong. But check out the size of this Tarmogoyf. It's a 5/6. So we could Lightning Bolt the Swiftspear so that they don't have a creature, or we could put down Tarmogoyf. They're going to have 3 lands available. They could Dart, which puts their Monastery Swiftspear up to a 3/4. So then if they have Lightning Bolt or basically any leftover, they can kill the Tarmogoyf and just do an insane amount of damage to us. So instead of allowing that to happen, we're going to Lightning Bolt the Swiftspear, take it a little bit slow here, and we're going to put a Verdant Catacombs onto the board. Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing. We're on the same page here. And this also allows us a minute here to do the Mishra's Bauble trick. Death Shadow on top, we like that. We will draw a Death Shadow. Especially with the Dismember in our hand. We don't even really have to do any more work on losing life here. The opponent will do it for us. I expect them to just go ahead and cast the Lava Dart any moment now. They might as well put it into their graveyard, right? Okay, well they could be having a consideration about something else. We're going to go to end step here and we'll crack our fetch. It looks like they might be leaving the Lava Dart to be exiled, which means they have something for 2 mana they want to play, which would only be one thing. Stomp. Oh, we got a Fatal Push off the top. Okay. So let's play the Stomping Ground and we'll leave Blood Crypt up. Okay, we can push the weird at our leisure, but if we don't need to, Tarmogoyf makes a fantastic blocker. Okay, they're firebolting us. Makes sense. Opponent has 4 lands here. They've really just been flooded out this match. And a light up the stage. Okay, well that's quite good from the opponent. Be able to look at 2 more cards, including a Blood Moon. Oh, that is scary. They've already played a land for this turn, right? Okay, phew, they did. So they can't Blood Moon us this turn. Wow, that's scary. So the question is here, do I Dismember the Blister Coiled Weird or do I Fatal Push it? I'm leaning towards Fatal Push because we'll have access to Dismember through Blood Moon. And I want to be able to cast both my Scourge and my Death Shadow next turn. So I'm not going to have extra mana. Okay, they have no cards in hand. Fiery Islet, Blood Moon. I think I can just play the Agadeem's Awakening, go to 7. I don't know, like it saves my Death Shadow from Lightning Bolt, which is the reason I want to do it, but it's incredibly risky to go down to 7. Not as bad as going down to 6, though. And is this lethal next turn? 5, 10, 16? It is lethal here. So they need something else besides the Blood Moon. Oh, okay, they already showed us that they had drawn a land there, so that's GG. Okay, so we have the Mire Bauble trick. I don't like Temur Battle Rage when we don't have a threat in hand. I think it would be more likely to keep this if we were on the draw. It is very risky to keep this. We could easily be punished to the point where we just lose. But we have every card here we can cast except for the Temur Battle Rage. Alright, I like a risk. I'm the kind of guy that gambles on one land hands. We are going to keep it. And everyone's like, no, don't keep it. Okay, opponent is mulligan down to 5 cards. Our 2 Thoughtseize are going to be very good against that. That could also mean that they're playing Tron. Ah, hi there, Kumbak. Glad to see you come back. Leyline on turn 1. Oh, that would be terrifying. Okay, let's see if there's a land on top. If not, we will Thoughtseize. If there is, we will leave the Bloodstained Mire as is. Scourge of the Skyclaves. Nope, that's not a land. Okay, we're going to go get Blood Crypt. And Thoughtseize. Oh, look at this. Lava Dart, light up the stage, mutagenic growth. They have no creatures. We're going to take light up the stage here. So that they cannot draw more cards. And we get our land that we were looking for here. Okay, that's the Arid Mesa we knew about. Let's see if we can draw some action now. Tarmogoyf. Ah, not this time. So let's see here. We know 3 of the cards, and we don't actually want to Thoughtseize any of them. So we're going to play Overgrown Tomb, tapped, and pass. We're playing that land tapped, even though we're playing a Death Shadow deck, because we don't currently have Death Shadow in our hand, and we're playing against Izzet Prowess, which is... Oh, good point. Good point. Was not thinking of that. Because our removal spells are lightning bolts, the mutagenic growth can indeed save one of the opponent's creatures. So we probably should have just gone ahead and Thoughtseize that. Or we could have Thoughtseized that the first turn, and then the second turn Thoughtseize the light up the stage. Thank you, Kumbak. Okay, Mishra's Bauble. We're going to Mishra's Bauble them, find out what they're about to draw. They're about to draw another land. Okay, so we'll go ahead and use that Thoughtseize. Make sure that they can't save their creatures from a lightning bolt. Oh, and they have a Sprite Dragon and a second mutagenic growth. Okay, well, because of that, we're just going to take the Sprite Dragon here. Is that right? We could take one of the mutagenic growths, and then when they play Sprite Dragon, they only have 1 muta, so we could 2 for 2. We have so many removal spells, you know? All right. Well, seems like I keep on making bad decisions. I think there's a song about that. Can't stop making bad decisions. Something like that. Infected Mushroom. Okay, so they have the land. Yeah, if they mutagenic growth the Sprite Dragon, it goes up to a 4/4, and then Lava Dart gets it up to a 5/5, and then Flashback Lava Dart gets it up to a 6/6. So we might need to Lightning Bolt Dismember on the same turn. You think go for it now? The thing is, if they mutagenic growth Lava Dart. Oh, okay, just bolt. That makes sense. So that way they won't have the mutagenic growth when I go for the Dismember. The counters stay on the Sprite Dragon. It gets +1/+1 counters. Okay, so we could Lightning Bolt ourselves, put ourselves to 10, and then we could play Death Shadow. We know exactly what they have in hand. They cannot kill a 3/3 Death Shadow. The problem is if they draw Lightning Bolt off the top. So our choices are do nothing, or bolt ourselves, play Shadow. I think that the Lightning Bolts are going to be better served killing opponents' creatures, and that our life total will go down shortly. I don't think it's a good idea to be using our resources in that way, but I could be wrong. The opponent will have ways to reduce our life total. Okay, they just play a land and pass. And we get another Lightning Bolt. Okay, because we have this embarrassment of riches, I really want to Lightning Bolt myself and play a Death Shadow. They're going to be looking for an answer in a Lightning Bolt. I expect them to crack the Fiery Islet here. Only threat is the haste creature. Right, the Sprite Dragon. Okay, Soulscar Mage is quite good. It is going to allow them to shrink our Death Shadow permanently. And they have the mutagenic growth to try and save it. Okay, so we know exactly what they have in hand. And we draw land. Okay, so land is quite good. So if we dismember the Soulscar Mage, does it die? They have the mutagenic growth, which makes it into a 4/5, and then Lava Dart will save it. We could dismember the Soulscar Mage, and then if they go for mutagenic growth while growth is on the stack, then we could Lightning Bolt the Soulscar Mage. That wouldn't work. Right order is bolt first. So we bolt the Soulscar Mage, they mutagenic growth in order to save it, with mutagenic growth on the stack, and Prowess on the stack, then we dismember it. And then it could only become a 3/4 with both Lava Darts. Okay, turning off all my auto yields, just in case I had something for Prowess triggers there, but I don't think I'd seen this mage yet. Okay, this is interesting. So they're going for the Lava Dart first. Lava Dart targeting Death Shadow. So the first one puts the Soulscar Mage up to a 2/3, and then mutagenic growth saves it from the Dismember. Yeah, I could fetch red source. Do you think I should lightning bolt a second time here? Because, yeah, the lava dart isn't going to be able to come back. I mean, it's a ton of resources, but it's probably worth it. Yeah, lava dart's not in the yard yet. Going down to 3 for this play, though. Very risky. They could just draw lightning bolt off the top. Opponent deciding if they want to use the mutagenic growth. If they don't use mutagenic growth here, we're in a really good spot, because we won't have to dismember, so we get to keep our life total flush. I think they gotta use it though, right? We'll have 6 damage coming down onto it. Okay, they let it go. Okay, so the lava dart does not shrink our Death Shadow. And we're free to attack for 6. Next turn, Temur Battle Rage for the win. If they draw Sprite Dragon, then we take 4. So we should be fine. Oh, there's also the lava dart, right. So we take 4, 5, 6, which we would still survive at 1 life. Another Soul Scar Mage. Okay, that's fine. So we could dismember it now so that they lose the mutagenic growth, and then we Temur Battle Rage them next turn. But Shadow's not necessarily big enough to do the job yet. Dismember will make it so. So even if they save their Soulscar Mage here, we should be able to win with a Temur Battle Rage. We know they don't have Lightning Bolt. They have Mutagenic Growth and Lava Dart. Okay, so they're shrinking our Death Shadow. Let's see that Mutagenic Growth now. Saving their Soulscar Mage, which they hope to block with, or not. Dude, what the heck? Okay. Okay, we won that one. So, interestingly enough, even though this is an Izzet deck, they only play 2 islands. The steam vents. That's it. So Boil is not actually going to be any good in this matchup. Kozilek's Return, however, on the right turn, could be quite good. We'll bring in Assassin's Trophy as another way to answer the Stormwing entity. Veil of Summer, also not going to be very good. Colligan's Command, not really very good either. Shame you can't Boil. I know. All these decks. I just want to play Boil. Where are the... Oh, geez. Brain fart. Where are the Uro decks? Alright, so we got to take out 3 cards. We're going to take out Thoughtseize because it costs us life. And this matchup is going to be all about that. Here's the problem, though. The reason why I want to play Thoughtseize is because of the Stormwing entity. Thoughtseize is one of our answers to that card. Okay, I'm going to take out a Wrenn and Six instead of the Battle Rage. Wrenn and Six kills basically none of their creatures. Alright, thanks for the follow. Demian BW. What's going on, bud? How did you find the stream? Alright, I think I'm about as satisfied with this as I'm going to be able to be, so we're going to submit. Okay, show them our pretty kitty. We have a 2-land hand, plenty of threats, we have 1 answer. We're going to keep this and hope that our threats are going to outpower our opponents. They don't have a turn 1, which could be good or it could be terrible, depending on what's going on. We get a land off the top. I would have preferred maybe a Thoughtseize. We're just going to play Bloodstained Mire here and pass, holding up Lightning Bolt, just in case they present a turn 2 Stormwing. Cool, well we got that here. I play Modern Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays around this time. So you can find me then. I also put all my stuff up onto YouTube, so you can find it there too. Okay, opponent's played a 2nd land and still has no threats on the board. That is curious. Let's fetch here. Now, I'm wondering if I'm supposed to be aggressively losing my life here because I have the Death Shadow in hand. I wouldn't normally want to do that against this deck, but they haven't presented any threats yet. Okay, so the Tarmogoyf isn't going to be too good yet. Let's maybe just play the Peatland, Wrenn and Six, get the fetch land back. And then next turn we can look at playing Tarmogoyf. We would be able to either hold up Lightning Bolt, or I think maybe even better would be setting down the Seal of Fire, so that the Tarmogoyf can grow in size. Seal of Fire and Tarmogoyf are good friends. Oh, there's the 2 islands. Too bad we don't have Boil. Here we go. And they'll have a spell immediately, because Wrenn and Six would just kill it. They might even be lightning bolting our Wrenn and Six. Yes, they are. So, Seal of Fire. Do I run a Baron Moor? No, I do not. It would be very nice to have a Baron Moor in the deck with the Wrenn and Six, but the list is so tight because we're running Death Shadow and Scourge of the Skyclaves that we just didn't have the room for it. You do find that kind of value train in the classic Jund lists with Wrenn and Six. You get a lot of work out of it. Unfortunately for us, we only have the Peatland to do that kind of work. Okay, so we're going to want to play Seal of Fire, try and kill the Sprite Dragon with a seal. If that works, we'll play Tarmogoyf. If that doesn't work, we'll play Lightning Bolt. So we're going to want to play the Bloodstained Mire first, so that we can Lightning Bolt in response to the +1/+1 trigger. But if this Seal of Fire can kill the Sprite Dragon, that's way better for us. It works. Great. Okay, now we can play Tarmogoyf. I kind of want to play basic Swamp here, just in case. Just in case they go for Blood Moon. We're losing life turn after turn with the Peatland here. So I think that it's worth one turn off of shocking ourselves, just so we don't get screwed by Blood Moon. Most of these Prowess decks are now playing the Wildfire instead. But you do still once in a while see one playing Blood Moon. Oh, is this a Manamorphose? It is. Okay, we could be taking a ton of damage here. This Sprite Dragon might be too big for our Lightning Bolt. But we'll be able to play Death Shadow and still present a serious clock. Sorry, bud, I don't have the deck list set up yet. That's one of the things on my list of things to do to improve the stream. Okay, Lightning Bolt coming at us. If you wait a couple minutes, we'll have the deck list up on the screen. If you'd like to copy the deck list for yourself, you can find this deck up on my YouTube channel already. So search Cooper the Red, find the ferret face, and that's one way to find the channel. Or you could type in Jund 8 Shadows, and that's the most recent video that I put up. Okay, so we're at 7 here. Sprite Dragon is too big for the Lightning Bolt. Oh, but we got Fatal Push off the top. Yes! Okay, so we're in this game still. We can Fatal Push the Sprite Dragon, attack with Tarmogoyf, play Scourge and Death Shadow. We could go get basic Mountain, keep ourselves at 6. It would actually be 5 because of the Peatland. Would that be enough black manas? 1, 2, 3... 1, 2, 3, it would be. Okay. Six, 7 Tarmogoyf coming at ya. That just grew my Scourge. Okay, we're at 5 now, but we have a slew of threats here, and with the Lightning Bolt, most of them are lethal. Oh my, another dragon off the top would be quite the coup from the opponent, but I think they're Manamorphosing here. Okay, that could have been a lot worse. If they had had dragon there, oh my, we would have been in trouble. Okay, so I really respect what the opponent did here. A very small thing, but they went red-red with their Manamorphose. Because the opponent has blue mana untapped in their lands, going red-red is absolutely the correct choice. If they draw a Stormwing Entity, they can use blue mana from their land here. But if they just get Burn Spell off the top, they're going to want to have that red mana ready to go. Okay, they only have 1 card left in hand. They have 2 critters here. We can block. We have Removal Spell for one of them. And then they're only able to block 1 creature, and we win. That's not quite true, is it? No, if we get through with any 2 creatures, we win. So that's fine. Just checking to see if they have any lava darts in the graveyard. They do not. Okay, and that was their last play. So they're going to be able to block everything here. The Tarmogoyf, I could kill one of their creatures, and Tarmogoyf gets through. We get Mishra's Bauble off the top. Okay, let's go ahead and use our Peatland. See if we can draw a removal spell. We get Agadeem's Awakening, not a removal spell. Okay, so grab the cat. No. Don't have time for that. And unfortunately, now that we've used the Peatland, we no longer have the mana for it. So I'm just going to Lightning Bolt one of their dudes. They're going to take a ton of damage, and they'll have one more turn to draw a relevant card. We could also Bauble. So I think we Bauble them to see what they're drawing next, and to see if it's going to kill us somehow. Okay, they got a Swiftspear off the top. They still have Fiery Islet. So if we attack with everything, the Swiftspear could potentially do something funky and kill us. Alternatively, we can Lightning Bolt one of their creatures, attack with both of our black creatures, leaving the Tarmogoyf back. They're forced to block both of our creatures, and then they only have the Swiftspear off the top, plus the draw from Fiery Islet. We have Tarmogoyf back to block. Okay, they must block both of these creatures. We'll put this into play tapped and pass back with one card in hand. They'll know it's not Lightning Bolt or Fatal Push, however. We get Kozilek's Return off the top. We are going to have to evade one draw through the Fiery Islet. If they draw Lightning Bolt, they win. They got the mana tapped. It's a Lava Dart. They win. So we ended up losing to exact damage there. I think I'm still actually satisfied with how the deck is constructed, though. We're just going to go ahead and send it back. Okay, we'll definitely take the play. We got a ton of removal here. That's pretty good. This hand does not have an answer to Stormwing, unfortunately, but we will absolutely keep this. Answers anything else they could have. And we have the Mishra's Bauble trick. Okay, so Lightning Bolt is on top. Lightning Bolt is great. That's an answer to the Stormwing. Let's keep that on top. Okay, so they're just passing with a land here. Going to go get an Overgrown Tomb tapped. And of course, after I take the land tapped, we draw a Death Shadow. So we're going to play the Blood Crypt untapped here for 2 reasons: to have more removal open and to drain our life a little bit. And we'll just pass back. If you're curious, there is a reason why I fetched for the Overgrown Tomb tapped. Is because our opponent's deck is very good at doing damage. So generally, we don't have to work that hard at doing damage to ourselves. So I'm going to want to use the Fatal Push on the Soulscar Mage. We'll do it end of turn. Definitely do not want to use the Lightning Bolt, because Lightning Bolt is one of our few answers to their Stormwing. Okay, Tarmogoyf, fantastic. Let's go ahead and cast that. And we get to hold up Blood Crypt, which plays all the rest of our cards. Tarmogoyf can stick around. Should make short work of the opponent. But they do have access to Soulscar Mage, which can knock it down a peg. Otherwise, their deck is not very well built to take care of Tarmogoyf. I'm wondering if this Izzet Prowess deck should be running Vapor Snag. It does damage to the opponent, costs a single mana, triggers Prowess, clears the field for your Prowess creatures. I think Vapor Snag would be an excellent card in this deck. In the opponent's deck, of course. Okay, opponent's struggling a little bit on figuring out what they're supposed to be doing with their turn. They've decided to Lava Dart, which probably means they're going to light up the stage. Okay, and they find Mutagenic Growth and light up the stage. So it looks like they've missed a land drop here. Okay, Mishra's Bauble, we'll cast that and take a look at what they're about to draw. Bloodstained Mire, so they do have a land on top. We'll just attack with the Tarmogoyf and pass. Alternatively, we could put the cat in our hand here. I think this is an excellent turn to put the cat in our hand. We would take quite a bit of damage if they put down a Prowess creature while we were tapped out, though. However, if we take a bunch of damage, we can cast Death Shadow. So this is really going to be the opponent's turn to do stuff. They got the land. They have 3 land. They're going to be able to do things. If they have Prowess creatures, they can do quite a bit of damage here. But they need to be one of their 2 haste creatures, Swiftspear or Sprite Dragon. I think Swiftspear would probably be their best play this turn. There it is. This Swiftspear is probably going to unlock our Death Shadow for us. I'm just hoping that they don't have enough to just outright kill us. They have 4 cards in hand. With this Mutagenic Growth and a second one in their hand, that would be 6, 7, and then they could Bolt, which would be another 8, 15 damage. So I don't think they can kill us this turn, but they would get damn close. They also have the Lava Dart. So yeah, my previous calculation with a Lava Dart, they would kill us. So maybe I was supposed to hold back on the Lurrus just to keep up my spells. Probably should have been thinking, how do I die here? And this could be the answer. Okay, here's a Lava Dart. Okay, that's hitting us so that they can light up the stage. But they're back down on lands now. And they find a Burst Lightning, another source of damage. That's already 6. Okay, Soul Scar Mage. And they're out of mana now, so they're going to be able to do us 6, putting us to 9. Which means we can cast the Death Shadow. And we're going to kill both of their creatures. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they can't quite cast the Reveler yet. We get another Lightning Bolt off the top. So we could just Fatal Push the Soul Scar Mage, then kill him with Lightning Bolt. Only need the 1. I mean, I guess I could, like, show the opponent still got all these. But we'll be efficient with our spells. We've still got 1 match left to go. That's magic, right? Okay, so 4-land hand. Not loving the 4 lands. However, the leftovers are great. Monastery Swiftspear, Lightning Bolt, Scourge. Our opponent has mulliganed as well, so even though I don't like the 4-land hands, especially when we don't have a draw land, we are going to keep this. Fingers crossed. Mostly because our opponent is mulliganed. Okay, so they're staying at 6. Flooded Strand, uh-oh. That could be bad news. But we'll have the Boil later. So stick around, you might get to see us cast Boil. We're going to start with the Swiftspear for sure. So we're going to use the Wooded Foothills, because the Bloodstained Mire can go get both basics. Blood Crypt to start for sure. Swiftspear attack. Okay, and we'll just hit 6 here. Not going to be doing anything for the rest of our turn, nor the opponent's turn. Expect them to get a Triome here. No, a Hollowed Fountain. Okay. Okay, so this could be 2 colors. Looks like they're holding up a Remand. Maybe a Mana Leak. So we'll attack with the Swiftspear. We're going to bolt them. Because I don't want to play my Scourges into a potential counterspell. And if they have Remand, we could just recast the bolt. This way we're doing a ton of damage to them. That's going to be good for our Scourges in the long run. Okay, they have Omen of the Sea. Probably going to play Teferi here. But if they do that, we can kill Teferi with our Swiftspear. So maybe something else. Oh my, a counterbalance. Chat, what have we come up against? We're going to fetch here to thin, but we're going to shock as well. We already have a green source in our hand and another fetch land. So we're going to go get a second Blood Crypt. Very possible. I don't keep up on everything that's going on in Modern Control. You say, looks like Blue-White Miracles, so Chad is thinking it looks like Miracles. Okay. Okay, good to know. So they only have 1 mana open. They're already at 13 life. And we can fetch Shock and get our Death Shadow down. So we're going to start with Scourge after we attack. Right. Terminus Sanctuary. That is good. And the snare. That's true. The snare could get me here. I'm just thinking, like, what else can I do, right? I gotta play out my threats. I guess I could get cat. I could spend my turn getting the cat. That wouldn't play into counterbalance at all. Or spell snare. But that would give them the chance to go to 4, which would give them access to Cryptic Command. All right, we're going to play a mini shadow here. Opponent reveals Path to Exile. Ugh. That's brutal. So even if we play the Scourge, they don't have to fetch. They can keep the path on top and then use that. This is going to be a rough one. It's going to be a little bit better once we get Boil in the deck. But they'll have access to Cryptic Command and the like to counter Boil. We'll have to be very careful about how we play it. Yeah, you saw that, huh? That Path to Exile on top. Ouch. Okay, Fatal Push looks like a dead card to me. Okay, if we're playing against Angels, the difference between 9 and 11 is nothing. So we're going to play the Overgrown Tomb untapped. And then we're going to put the cat in our hand. And pass back. Next turn, we'll probably Scourge of the Skyclaves twice, depending on what they have on top of their library. Okay, take care of one of our green sources here. Fortunately, we still have a basic. Oh, geez. Okay. I mean, that only gets Swiftspear in this case, but the Flooded Strand means that they can... Oh, they're activating the Flooded Strand now because they need the mana. Okay. No, they don't need... Oh, because it's... Sorry, I'm just a little bit confused about everything that's going on here. This is my first time playing against the deck. So there's a lot of things going on that I'm not quite sure what's happening. They scried the Terminus to the top at my end step, and now they have the Flooded Strand ready to go to return the Terminus, which is a big pain. So let's give them something. Your choice, Path or Terminus. Or Counterbalance. And they show us the Omen of the Sea on top. Okay. If we play Lurrus, we get no value from it. We have no baubles. We cannot play a second Scourge. They'll just counter it instantly, so we have to pass. Okay, they're drawing 2 cards. They're up to 4 cards in hand now. One of them being Omen of the Sea, one of them being Path to Exile. Okay, they have a second fetch land, so they're going to be able to Terminus a whole bunch of times. And we get a Death Shadow off the top. Yeah. Like, we can just keep on casting these things until the cows come home, but opponent has answers for days. So we're not going to be playing this particular game too much longer. Opponent is already set up very nicely. They decided to use the Omen of the Sea to try and find a 2-drop to put on top, instead of using their path. Let's see here. 2 on the bottom. Cryptic. Did they just show me Cryptic Command? Did they have to? Oh, okay. I'm just reading Counterbalance here. I was wondering if it functioned like Delver of Secrets. It does not. Okay, so we know Cryptic Command is on top. We could play the Death Shadow in order to make more pressure. And then they would just Terminus our cards. But if I only have the 1 Scourge out, they have Path to Exile. Oh man, this is miserable. I don't think there are any right choices here. Like I said, we're not going to be sticking around in this particular game very much longer. I just want to see if I can find some sort of way to get any damage in on the opponent. We only need to hit them once. And I'm also getting quite a bit of information about this deck and its play patterns as we lose this game. So I'll know a little bit more about how to sideboard against it, a little bit more about what to expect in the first few turns. But we are going to need some serious luck to get through this. Okay, we'll pass the turn with this. We don't want to put anything more onto the board. We would just be losing everything to Terminus anyways. But if they want to Terminus right now, they have to get rid of the Cryptic Command. Okay, Cryptic Command is being shuffled. There's a Sanctuary, put Terminus on top. Yep, we knew all that was happening. Yes, we lose our creatures here. Next turn we have Lurrus into Scourge from the graveyard. Opponent has a second counterbalance. That works quite interestingly with the fetch land there. They'd be able to check 1, and then, oh, I draw a Thoughtseize. We have a Death Shadow in the yard. 1, 2, 3, 4 black mana is enough for 2 for the Lurrus, 1 for the Shadow, 1 for the Thoughtseize. So we can Thoughtseize first. And if they counter a 1 mana spell, then they can't counter a Lurrus like that. Okay, so now they're going to fetch. Or let the Thoughtseize resolve. Okay, there's the fetch. So this reshuffles and allows them to check again. And putting a Mystic Sanctuary onto the board, are they putting Terminus back on top? No, they're putting Opt on top. Okay, well that totally makes sense, because now they counter the Thoughtseize. Really cool play lines from the opponent's deck. Okay, so that means that we cannot cast the Death Shadow from the graveyard. We could just cast the Scourge from our hand, though. Omen of the Sea. Okay, so they get to scry. See if they have a 2-drop they can put on top. Let's see here. 1 card bottom, 1 card top. So they probably found a 2-drop to counter our Scourge. Oh no, they found Archmage Charm. That doesn't counter our Scourge, but it's still a good card. Huh. Okay. So now they draw the Archmage Charm. And show us Teferi. Oh, Teferi is still a good answer to the Scourge. They're going to be able to bounce the Scourge. We're going to have to try and replay it again. Game is still going. Yep, here's the Teferi. And they still have that Path to Exile in hand, too. They've been very good at managing their resources. Very impressive. Okay, so we got the Lightning Bolt. Let's see here. How do we start this? Probably Lurrus first. But they have a Misty here, so they have access to Mystic Sanctuary Terminus again. All right, let's see what happens here with the Lurrus. Okay, they show us Counterbalance with the first one. And now they're going to fetch. Oh, okay, they can fetch Mystic Sanctuary, put Archmage Charm back on top. That counters the Lurrus. And now if we play Scourge of the Skyclaves, they have Path to Exile to get rid of it. We could Lightning Bolt the Teferi just to get it off the board. So they're not getting advantage with that anymore. Okay, there's the Archmage Charm. Oh, they use the Archmage Charm to draw cards? Okay, yeah, they don't really care. They just want that extra value. I thought they were going to counter the Lightning Bolt. They're like, nope. Lightning Bolt's fine. Kill Teferi, 1 for 1. I'll just draw 2 cards. Is what I imagine the opponent is thinking. Okay, opponent has 4 going up to 5 cards in hand. Incredible advantage on board here. Plenty of scries from the Omen of the Seas. Counterbalance ready to go to counter all of our spells. We're going to see what we draw here. Fatal Push, we're going to concede. Had enough. Okay, definitely bringing in Boil. Let's see here. What else do we want to bring in? Veil of Summer, no doubt. What do we want to take out? Fatal Push. Dismember. Are they going to be playing those legendary angels? Like, what is that? Demon Slayer Angel or something? I think Wildfire could beat the Cryptic Lock. Okay, well, let's see if we have room for that. I definitely want to take out Temur Battle Rage. They have too many answers. Just being able to path my creature is really bad for us. And then our lightning bolts don't look very good either. That's the creature I was worried about. Thank you. Baneslayer Angel. Does the Miracles deck play Baneslayer Angel? Spellbomb, good point. Definitely like Spellbombs. I like Spellbombs more than Cleansing Wildfire. They're going to do the job. We already have Boil to take care of their lands. If we can clear out their graveyard when they're trying to put something on top with Spellbomb, that's great. I think we can take out some number of Lightning Bolt. And I'm pretty happy with this. Really looking to resolve that Boil is going to be our main plan. We could also bring in Colligan's Command. It's instant speed, it's card advantage, and it's probably better than Lightning Bolt. And then Dismember can potentially kill a Baneslayer Angel if they have one. I'm just terrified of that card. Okay, we will take the play. Show them our Cat Luris. Okay, we have a 1-land hand with Thoughtseize, Swiftspear, Veil of Summer, Wrenn and Six. Our hand is amazing, but some do. I'm not sure they would bring it in. Takes out their Terminus. Okay. All right, thanks for the advice. A swiggity swaggity. I do not want to keep this hand. The 3 Thoughtseizes are very nice, but if we don't find that second land, we are in a huge amount of trouble very, very quickly. Even though we have Thoughtseize and Veil and everything nice, I'm going to mulligan this just because if we get stuck on one land, we're dead. Okay, this is way better. This is a way better hand. We will keep this. We'll just get rid of the swamp here. We'll keep our threats. Keep our Thoughtseize, Veil of Summer. Veil of Summer. Which will hopefully protect our Tarmogoyf starting turn 3. We're going to need the Tarmogoyf to do damage to the opponent to get that Scourge onto the board. Yeah, so if we end up going to game 3 and we don't see Baneslayer Angel, I will take the Dismember out of the deck, and we'll put 1 Lightning Bolt back in. Either that or Cleansing Wildfire. Okay, opponent's taking a minute to contemplate their hand. I don't blame them. They have plenty of time on their clock. All right, so while we're waiting here, chat, do you have any good ideas on things that I could add in for the channel points, the rewards? I've got a couple basic things here that came with the basic program, and I've also put in Open a Chest as one of the high cost items. Is there anything else that you'd like to see there? Okay, so start of our turn, we're just going to go ahead and Thoughtseize. We'll use the Blood Crypt in hand. Okay, so they have a great hand. We can leave the Teferi, because we'll have the Veil of Summer to put a stop to what it's doing. Terminus in hand, that's not a problem. It's Terminus on top of the library or the graveyard that's the problem. So I think we just take the path here, because that would answer our Tarmogoyf. Which means opponent will be drawing path now. Okay, they played Prairie Stream. And we get another Thoughtseize. I want to play the Tarmogoyf here, get our clock started. We're going to go get Overgrown Tomb. And then next turn we can Thoughtseize, hold up Veil of Summer. Alright, fingers crossed, no path. What? Okay, they just got Terminus off the top of their deck, which means we will not be able to attack them, which means we cannot play the Scourge. Stomping Ground, okay. We're just going to Thoughtseize them, and that's going to be all. We could put Cat in our hand, but I don't want them to play Teferi and start getting value out of it. Let's go ahead and use the Thoughtseize here. And I should have put the Stomping Ground into play untapped. That was definitely a mistake. Opponent is not going to be pressuring me. I don't need to worry about preserving my life total. So even though I don't currently have a Death Shadow in hand, I should have played for it. Okay, they are now at 19, so we can play the Scourge. It's going to be a very disappointing Scourge, but they don't really have anything that's going to kill it at 1 as opposed to killing it at 10. Their cards are going to kill it either way. And we need a threat on the board so that we can start doing damage to the opponent. So a 1/1 for 2 is better than doing nothing. We still get to keep up Veil to keep it safe. Otherwise, I would have grabbed the cat. Okay. Scourge sticks around for a turn. We'll play a land here. We'll attack, and then we'll put cat in our hand. Come here, Luris. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Unfortunately, we have no value to accrue with the Luris, but still 3 mana, draw a card, basically. Okay, Inquisition. I like casting that. Let's see what they have in hand. Okay, they're going to opt in response. Oh, and they have the path. Okay, unfortunately, we can't do much about that. We could dismember it, which would put it in our graveyard for our Luris to get later. That's probably better than just letting it die. Okay, oh man, they have a Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. About to come down. Okay. Well, it is what it is. So Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, is going to be quite a pain to play through. We're going to want to play Lurrus next turn and hold up Veil of Summer so that they cannot tuck the Lurrus. And then hopefully we can kill Teferi on a backswing. But I think that opponent has us beat out unless we can get specifically Boil. I think we need Boil. Oh, and they have the Path to Exile through the Mystic Sanctuary here. Alright, Boil off the top, please. One of your finest boils, please. No such luck. Okay, so with land, we could potentially lure us into Scourge, but they're going to be able to tuck and path. So that doesn't really play. And now they're able to draw a card every turn. Spellbomb, a little bit late, deck. Okay, they have Omen of the Sea on top. Spellbomb can resolve, and does. Don't worry, chat, we won't be playing this game for too much longer. Opponent has this pretty well locked up. If somehow I was able to resolve a Boil, however, we might be able to come back. We have to do it soon, though, because Teferi is about to ultimate. They have no fetch lands, so we're going to crack the Spellbomb. In order to draw an extra card here. Okay, we find Death Shadow. And a Swiftspear. Okay. So we can play the Swiftspear, attack the Teferi, they'll use the Path, and then we can play Death Shadow, hold up Veil. This is all, of course, supposing that they don't just counter our 1-drop. They have Omen of the Sea in order to scry. See if they can put a 1-drop on top. And if they have a 1-drop on top, Veil of Summer does nothing. Unfortunate. So yeah, Veil of Summer is dead. We're going to have to try and get them off it. So let's see if we can get them to switch their cards by putting the Lurrus down. I don't think they really need to, though. We only have 1 mana left. Okay, they're going to Archmage Charm, counter target spell, which means Veil of Summer will be countered by Counterbalance. Okay, good game, opponent. We will concede to that. And that's the league.